All right, how about if I'm going to start a new program because there was a lot of stuff in there, and we are going to practice using the ternary operator. I have my header information inside of here. We are just using, we're pound including IOStream, and then here we are going to use our ternary operator. So let's remember the long cut, or also known as the if, else if. So let's do a quick if else if. So I'm going to say int, I'll create a smaller, oops, let me try that again. Smaller, we'll have an integer called smaller. We'll one have alpha. Oh my goodness. Alpha, I'm going to initialize alpha to 1, and then we'll do another one called beta, and we'll initialize beta to 2, just to make this a little bit faster. So I have 3 variables, a smaller, alpha and beta are both initialized, and I would say something like in a traditional if statement, if alpha is less than beta, I'd have my opening curly brace, and I would say then I'm going to set smaller to alpha. And then I'm going to put my else here. I'll say smaller is equal to beta. So this is a standard straight up. I'll even put a comment on this one saying end if. And then we will just print, oops, sorry about that. We will just see out smaller. Now, since I kind of hard-coded alpha and beta, I would expect it to print a 1. There it is. There is my 1. I'm going to put a little bit of header on information on here, and I'll put smaller value, because it's never a good idea to just throw a number onto the screen like that. So at least I have a little bit of a label or a title on it. There we go. So let's then see if we can mimic this exact same else if using the ternary operator. So so if you remember, the way that it works is we have some kind of a condition, then there is a question mark followed by the expression 1, and then a colon and expression 2. This is the way that it works, and I'm going to use the same format for that one. So I'm going to set smaller equal to, and then the condition is going to be, we already know what the condition is, alpha less than beta. That is the condition. Then I'm going to put the question mark, and expression 1 is going to say alpha. Wow. Probably should have come up with different names. And this one will be beta. All right, I was trying to wait for that clock to stop ringing, but apparently I didn't get it. And so this time we will see out smaller. For the sake of time, since I already have this, I'm just going to kind of steal this one, and I'm going to paste it down here. But just to kind of separate the two of them from one another, I should probably put an end line here, just to separate the two. And let's see what we get this time if I run it. Both of them say 1. So we have the replication of an if-else. It's like a shortcut to an if-else using the ternary operator. All right, let's try another one, because this is so much fun, right? We'll do another one. This time I could say smaller is equal to, the condition that I'm going to do now is, I don't know, alpha less than 15. I'll put the question mark here. Expression 1 is going to be 10. Then the second expression will be 25. I'll put a semicolon at the end of that. And I'll say less than or equal to 15. So the statement is if alpha is less than or equal to 15, smaller is going to be 10. Otherwise, smaller is going to be 25. I'm going to put an end line back up here on line 27. Wow. End line back on 27. And then again, for the sake of time, I'm going to copy that same statement. And I might change it up just a little bit to say still the smaller value. Or, I mean, this is not the smaller value. So this is going to be, I guess that's not the smaller value, if alpha less than 15. So let's run it, see what we get. So I expect it to be 10, right? Because alpha is indeed less than or equal to 15, because when I coded alpha, I set it equal to 1. So how about if I change that to alpha greater than or equal to 15? What would I expect the outcome to be now? I would expect it to be 25. So we're going to do one more, just one more, because we're learning about strings. Let's see if we can do one more. How about if I create a string variable, I'll call it answer. We're going to have to pound include string depending upon the platform that you are. So I'll come up here and I will pound include string just in case you need to pound include string. So I'm going to have a string variable called answer. I'm going to create a char variable and I'm going to call it char value or something like that. I'm going to set it equal to a character. Maybe I'll set it equal to a lowercase t. So now I have a character value surrounded by single quotes. And this time I'm going to say answer. This time I will say answer is equal. So my condition is going to be char value. If char value is equal to, let's try lowercase s. I have my question mark. My first value is going to be a string that says char value is an s. My second expression is going to be char value is not an s. And then I'll put a semicolon at the end of that, and we will see out the answer. And then we'll throw an end, there you go. We'll throw an end line on there. So let's see, what would I expect it to print? Is C value an S or is it not an S? Well, I'm pretty sure that if I set it to T, that it is not an S. So it's telling me it's not an S. I could set it to an exclamation point. Oops. We'll set it to an exclamation point. Still not an S. If I set it to an S, now I'm going to expect it to be an S. And there it is. All right, so this is an explanation, a run-through of the ternary operator.